Welcome, everybody. I am Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains every single day, and we're back for another crypto market update here Saturday morning. Everybody's hanging out. Markets are pumping. Pengu's up 22.1%. Let's go. What's going on with the Pengu's, with the pudgy penguins? Why are they pumping? What's pumping all the pudgies right now, right? So we're going to be covering all of this. We're going to be covering Bitcoin critical levels, altcoin season. When is it going to happen? And how did the Crypto Citadel go along this week with all the trades we took this week in the Crypto Citadel? So right now, appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe, and yeah, jump into the chat, start dropping some questions, start dropping some altcoins. I'll cover as many as I possibly can. And I appreciate everybody's hanging out. So it's going to be a chill Saturday morning here, covering some altcoins and some Bitcoin. Let's start off with Bitcoin, the Mac Daddy, right? Overall, yesterday was a magnificent trading day for Bitcoin. As you guys can see here, we were in a very clear downtrend all day yesterday. We took a nice little long here off this sweep of the SFP, right? And we took it all the way up to the daily point of control of 107. Got out of that. Eventually, this had a major breakout, and we came all the way up to the gold pocket and the previous Asia and London high right around this area. Took a short around 107.647 and rode that bad boy all the way down as well. Actually, I got out early. I didn't actually ride all the way down. I got out down around the VWAP daily open, which was around the 106.9. So I made another, overall very good trading day yesterday. Very easy getting some longs and shorts going in and out the entire day. Appreciate everybody jumping in here. Make sure you guys are tapping those screens, sending in those likes. Let's jump into the chat here and start dropping some love. Let's see. Let me drop a little poll here. What do you think is going to happen first? Do you think we're going to go 120 or 96K first? What do you think happens first? Bitcoin, 96K. BTC 96K or 120K first. $96K. Put a little poll out there for everybody. You guys let me know what you guys think. All right, let's get some updated. So this downtrend is out of here now, no longer valid. Let's get this out of here. Let's get this daily, boom. Let's get this right here. Let's get this London high stuff out of here. All right, perfect. Let's get this gold pocket out of here. That's right. Very nice. Clean up the chart here. Let's get Friday's price action. Let's get Friday's price action. Got to keep our charts up to date here. Let's get it. Come on. Boom. Perfect. Pretty sure we don't have any untapped dailies. Nope. All right. Cool. Appreciate everybody jumping in here. Appreciate all of you guys. Make sure you guys are tapping those screens, guys. Tap those screens. Send in those likes. Now, let's go look at Bitcoin here on the more larger time frame. Let's get it out of the trading here. As you guys can see, we already handled that for the previous day. So Bitcoin right now, right here overall, we're once again breaking out of the previous week range, right? We're back above the previous week range. We're back at 107.237. So what happened? Well, what happened was last weekend, we came all the way down to 98,000, right? Bitcoin came crashing down to 98,000. There was a lot of fear in the market about, a lot of different conflicts, a lot of different issues all occurring at the same time. And, oh, I forgot to add my other little mic. Give me a second here, guys. Haven't been going live for like a week, and now I'm all out of sync. So give me a second here. Let me add my little mic right here. Perfecto. Boom. That should be a lot better now. A lot better. So overall, Bitcoin has had a major reversal, sweeping this SFP, once again getting an SFP here off this low of the $100,355. Once again, SFP in this area and pushing us back into the main range, back to 107. But as you guys can see, we are still in a downtrend, right? Overall, This is we had a high back on May 23rd at 112,000. We had a lower high back on June 10th at 110,000, and now we're still creating a lower high at 107 before potentially pulling back, which is why I've been telling people that we are still overall in a downtrend. This is not the regression trend I'm looking for. Here it is. So this is the regression trend to look at right now. We are still in a downtrend. If we don't break this this market structure and make a new higher high, meaning we get a back above $110,000 for Bitcoin, we're most likely going to be continuing to make lower highs and just continue to slowly make our way down, right? Just going to be doing some of this, maybe a few little fake breakouts and then coming back down and just continuing to slowly slither our way to the downside. So that's something we need to be very, very careful with. We do have lots of targets to the downside as well, between 101 to 105, a bunch of daily NPLCs, daily untapped averages, stuff like that. So Mike is buzzing. Very weird. How about now? Is that better? Are we good now? We good? Nope. Okay. I'm just going to disconnect it. Okay. Okay. Disconnected. There. It's gone, right? Are we good now? Yes, we're good. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. No problemo. All right. Let's see here. A lot of people, 100% of people are thinking on the poll right now that we're going to see 96K first before we see 120K. Very interesting. Could definitely be. If we continue this downward market structure, we're definitely going to be heading down to 96K slowly but surely. As you guys can see here, right? We had a low here back in May around 102. Then we had a lower low on June 5th at 100,000. Now, back in June 22nd, which was last Sunday, we made another lower low at 98,000, right, before pushing back up. So we are overall in a very macro downtrend. Lower lows, higher lows. We're slowly slithering our way down. So unless we break that market structure, which we can, I'm not saying that we can't, but I'm just saying until we get confirmation of that market structure change, it's very difficult to say that we're going to 120. Now, if we do break out of this market structure, get back above 110, then yes, 120 is back on the table. No, I'm definitely live. Just I plugged in the mic after already going live, and I guess I had some issues with that. So overall, that's happening with Bitcoin. Going over to the Bitcoin dominance, this thing continues to climb and climb and climb. We're at 65.66, having a little slight drop from basically 66% that we hit yesterday. So, but overall, this thing is still making higher highs, continuing to push up. The all-time high for the Bitcoin dominance is 73.63. If we continue driving this thing all the way up there, it's going to be very painful for the altcoins in the meantime. Meanwhile, the Bitcoin dominance continues to stay high. There is absolutely no way that the altcoins are going to have rallies. The only altcoin rallies are going to be based off Bitcoin movement alone, right? Bitcoin's price moves, but the dominance stays high. The altcoins will have little pumps here and there, but overall, you're not going to see major altcoin rallies, right? You're seeing a little bit of a move to the upside for altcoins now. Bitcoin's been chopping kind of sideways here at 107 for the last day and a half, and that allows altcoins to run a little bit, but the Bitcoin dominance is still very, very high. Let's go take a look at Solana. Oops. Actually, let's go take a look at Ethereum before we take a look at Solana. So Ethereum, overall, let me get rid of this. Get rid of this. Ethereum has been keeping it very simple lately, right? Nothing of any major importance except for the simple fact that Ethereum obviously dropped, hit our two targets here at 23 and 22. We tapped those, already removed them from the page, from the chart, and now we're back above, slightly right above the value area low of not just the previous week range, but also the May range, right? We're slightly right above the value area low is sitting pretty much flat at 2,400. We're at 2,425 for Ethereum. So that is overall good to stay above that area, which allows us to continue pushing to the upside. We do have some targets at 26.39, a daily untapped MPOC, but the main target for Ethereum, right, the main resistance, the MAC data here is 27.11. 27.11 is the major resistance for Ethereum. Getting above that is hyper critical for a continuation to the upside. Meanwhile, we stay below 27.11. We're going to continue getting sideways chop and potential pullbacks along the way. As you can see here, we also are in a little bit of a downtrend over here with Bitcoin since with Ethereum since the 2800 back on June 10th. We made a new high on when we hit 28.13, and then we've been making lower highs since then, pretty steep lower highs, lower lows as well. Same kind of structure as Bitcoin, downward trend, right? Where if you know where Bitcoin's going, you know where the altcoins are going to go. Appreciate every single one of you guys in here, smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Let me make sure I'm not missing. Let me jump into the chat real quick, make sure I'm not missing anybody. Appreciate everybody in here. Diamond in the house. What's going on, Diamond? Crypto Citadel member in the house. Appreciate you guys in here. Let's get it. Okay, making sure I'm not missing anybody in the chat and no questions. All right. Make sure you guys keep tapping those likes. Keep sending in those gifts. Greatly appreciate it. Gets a lot of people in here. Share out the live. Let's go over to Solana. So Solana right now still in a major downtrend overall from the highs on May 14th. Right, we came up to 183. We got rejected. Kind of very similar scenario with Ethereum. The May range kind of really topped out a lot of altcoins. Could not get past the May range of 182 for Solana. Got wicked out again on May 23rd, and we just continue to drop, making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. We're currently sitting at $146 for Solana. Solana has come down into the April range, tapped the gold pocket, hit the monthly naked point of control of 129 and 132, and we have bounced from there, but we're still creating lower highs, right? So unless we break this market structure, we're probably going to keep just ranging between 140 to 129 to eventually we could drop down to make a new lower low down at 119, which is an untapped weekly average, and then continue pushing up until eventually we can break out, re-enter the main range. Once we can re-enter the main range, we have plenty of targets there that are all, littered there. We have about 4 targets that are untapped, 2 daily MPOCs, 1 daily untapped average, 1 monthly point of control, naked point of control as well. But realistically, the main resistance for Solana, equivalent to Ethereum's, is about 176, 177, which is a quarterly average that has been really holding Solana down. Once we can break out of the May range and hit all those targets, our real next targets are going to be between 194 to 203. That's going to be the next big area, which is the Q1 value area high. It's also a weekly and monthly naked point of control. We break out of 203. We get out of the Q1 range. We have a gold pocket at 225. We have a weekly MPOC at 235. And then we have a weekly average at 247 to the upside for Solana. And obviously to the downside, below 119, things get really bad and start dropping down to April lows between $100 and 97. If we lose 97 for any reason, if there's a major turnaround in the market, Bitcoin really rolls over, starts dropping to 96, maybe down to 84, right? Then next main target below 97 is $73 for Solana. $73. So I'm going to ask all of you guys right now, if Solana were to drop down to $73, would you buy it? Would you buy Solana down at $73? Yes or no? Are you buying Sol at 73? Are you buying Solana down at 73? Rock says yes. Elvia says yes. Wender Man says, how is Sui? Let's go take a look at Sui here. Sui right now is currently up 1.7% on the day, 3.7% on the week, down 23.2% on the month, currently at 273. Let's go take a look at Sui's chart. SUI has come all the way down to 229 was the bottom, right? Front running our monthly MPOC of 220. I got so much smack for saying that we're going down to 220 for SUI. So many people were like, absolutely not. That's never going to happen. SUI will never drop. Some guy was even like, the Wyckoff whatever accumulation, 240 is the absolute bottom. 240, no matter what. 240. Bro, we came down to 229. We're 9 cents away from my monthly NPOC of 220. Like, people get so stuck on like technical analysis being an exact scientific moment in time, and it's like, it doesn't work that way, right? There is flexibility for stuff. But overall, I told you guys, once we started to lose the 303, we're going to come down to the gold pocket. We hit that. We hit the gold pocket, obviously, lost that. And now we've come all the way down, almost hitting our monthly MPOC of 220. We front ran it by 9 cents, came down to 229, bounced back up, right? SUI is also in a downtrend, making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. So until we can break that downtrend, the trend is your friend until the end, right? If we get a little regression trend here for the month of May, regression trend is pretty much sideways. Let's see here. Let's get the regression trend. The big drop started on June 1st. Let's get it to the previous day here. Boom. Yeah, it's just been a very steep downtrend overall, just playing out. We're going to be getting new macro data here. We're on the June 28th right now. As on Tuesday would be the 1st of July. Tuesday, we are getting some new macro data for the monthly and the quarterly. Quarter 2 officially closes, and at the same time, we get the monthly close for June. So lots of new macro data is going to be getting posted in the Crypto Citadel. For everybody that doesn't know, Crypto Citadel is my private community. You guys can check it out. All the macro updates happen here. These are for all the long-term holders, getting massive breakdown of the market structure, resistance, support, areas to dollar cost average, areas to potentially take some profits, right? These are all for the long-term holders. Obviously, we do daily setups, daily charts, things like this all the time with trades in here as well. And obviously the signals. Yesterday, we took a nice Bitcoin long, made a good 749 macaroons yesterday, which was perfect. It was great trading day yesterday overall. You guys can see here, we took the Bitcoin long right around this Asia low, and we let this thing fly all the way up to the daily open before taking some profits. And it was a fantastic trading day. That was just one of the 2 trades. Took a small little 1.5% loss here, $42. Oh, no. Oh, no. And it was just because I was impatient. This long actually did end up playing out, but I was very impatient and just got out early. Just little mini mistakes people make sometimes. People always make mistakes no matter how good they are at trading. How do I join? You can join by going to the bio. Going to the bio, link is there. You guys can figure out, you can sign up there. If I got more capital, Mr. B, what about if you got more capital? What's your question, Mr. B? Oh, talking about the Solana, $73. You would buy it if you had more. If you had more capital, yeah, man. That's the problem about buying the dip, guys. Everybody's in this culture of buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. But how many dips are we really gonna buy? Right? There's been an endless amount of dips happening over the last couple of weeks, couple of months. Right? Over the last 6 months. Since August, since January, we've been dipping. We had a little bit of a rally, April, May. Now we're dipping. And the problem is, unless you're really catching the big drops, right? Like the big drop last Sunday when Bitcoin came down to 98, and you quickly jump on and you buy some altcoins that are massively down, right? Or you were buying when altcoins were down 80% at the end of April or at the beginning of April, ending of March, right? At the end of quarter 1. That was the time to really be buying. But all these little mini dips, you can't buy them all because you're going to run out of capital. There's going to be more dips than chips. It's simple as that. And you're going to run out of chips before you can buy all the dip. So be very, very careful. This is why it's so important to be in the crypto citadel, to be looking at macro long-term analysis, to find those big critical levels to the downside. So when we have that big drop, you can take advantage, right? You can take advantage of really a big discount in these altcoins. But buying all these little mini dips just ends up you're running out of money. Cuban Diesel, Diesel time, Diesel time. What's going on, brother? Thoughts on Pengu? I'll cover that in just a minute. Do it right is key, 100%. It's over. XRP's taking over crypto. Oh yeah. I hope you guys are right, because if you're not, you guys have set yourself up to be the biggest exit liquidity ever. So XRP here, you guys know, lawsuit is coming to an end relatively soon. XRP, Ripple, they're dropping their cross settlement, whatever, against the SEC. The SEC is also dropping their appeal, whatever. So it's officially coming to an end here in the next couple of days, maybe a week or so. Let's go take a look at XRP's price. Let's go see how XRP is marketing this into is marking this into the chart here. Right now, XRP is having an explosive price action of $2.19. So overall, in the dump here throughout last Sunday, with Bitcoin dropping to 98, XRP came down to 191. I did tell you guys that if Bitcoin lost 100 and was going to continue dropping lower, XRP would lose this green support. Obviously, XRP recovered very quickly because Bitcoin recovered very quickly. Bitcoin came down to 98, quickly pushed back above 100 and stabilized itself, and the altcoins recovered drastically after that as well. But overall, if Bitcoin would have kept going down, XRP would have sunk like the Titanic all over again. But once again, XRP is just finding support here off this area around $2.08 to about $1.95. Targets to the upside remain the same. 234, 236 are the short-term May target ranges. We need to realistically get above. We need to realistically get back above the quarterly average of 242, so we can start making a run past the May range, run for the daily untapped average at 257, and then we have a gold pocket right at the value area high of Q1 at 277, and above that we have a monthly NPOC, naked point of control, up at $3.10. So very, very critical. Those are the critical levels to the upside. And obviously, meanwhile, we're holding support here off this green zone. These are nice little areas, right? The lower you can get to that $2 mark, potentially capturing a long around those areas are very good for XRP. Meanwhile, Bitcoin stays above 100,000. We'll cover ZBEC here in a second as well. Let's go take a look at Pengu. Pengu. XRP may be just a hedge. Yeah, maybe. All right, Pengu is doing its pudgy penguin thing. Oh man. All right, let's get a gold pocket here from that local high to this local bottom. All right. Pudgy penguins, Pengu is back above into its May range. We've found some support here around the monthly average and the value area high of April around 0.009, right? Last Sunday on June 22nd, we dropped all the way down to 0.076 and it quickly recovered. Pengu is getting held down by this resistance here at 0.12. But once we can break through that, we do have a naked point of control for the month of May up at 0.014 is also a gold pocket from the local highs to the local bottom. And then above that area, we're running for the Q1 value area high at 0.108. And we also have an untapped quarterly average at 0.019. So do expect some level of resistance around this area here. This area here is going to be a little bit of resistance to get out. But once we can manage to get above that, right, we have an untapped monthly average up at 0.025, so 2.5 cents. And above that, we have a macro gold pocket up at 0.03, so basically 3 cents, which is a major move for Pengu to the upside from where we are right now. Let's go take a look at ZBEC. People keep asking about the ZBECs. I keep telling you guys, Ming, the ZBECs it's a prime example of why not to FOMO. Why not to FOMO? So we've already filled this gold pocket here, right? ZBEC since the highs back on May when we were up at 0.007 and this thing was up 500, 600% in 30 days. And they were FOMOing at the top, ZBEC to $1, ZBEC to $10, right? Falling into all that narrative, Fugazi. ZBEC has pulled back, right? What a surprise. We fell back into the May range. We have been fighting resistance here at 0.0043. We haven't been able to break that and sustain staying above that, which is basically getting back above the May range value area high. We do not have a lot of volume here in this May range overall, so we could continue slipping down, right? And this is what we've been seeing. We've been seeing lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. If we continue to drop, right, and we drop below the we lose this 0.0036, right, coming down to this gold pocket of 0.0032. We could potentially be dropping down to this weekly NPOC down at 0.028. Worst case scenario, we rotate the range down to the point of control, the naked point of control for the month of May, down at 0.0018, which is a catastrophic drop of, where's my measuring tool, from where we are today down to the weekly NPOC of 0.0028 is 21%, down to the monthly NPOC for May is another 49%, which is basically 50%. Basically another 50% retracement. Not saying that we will have that drop, but I'm just saying be very careful here with ZBEC. And it's just a future lesson, right? Do not buy coins at the highs. When you see coins going parabolic, right, from May 1st, it went from 0.0011. Let's measure that out. So from May 1st, right, from May 1st to when it topped out May 30th, we pumped 475% in 30 days. That is not the time to be buying coins. That is not the time to be buying into a coin, into an asset after a 400-500% pump. Because why? Because the people that bought in at that low before the major rally, those people are going to take profits. Those people are going to dump on you. You will be their exit liquidity. Always wait for the pullback. And here it is. How much has it pulled back since then? Let me tell you. Since May 30th, we have pulled back a total of 55%. 55%. Let that sink in. If you threw in $1,000 at this thing on May 1st, on May 30th, right, thinking we're going to a penny, we're going to $1, we're going to whatever, you lost $500. Unofficially, on paper, right? If meanwhile you don't sell it, you don't lose it, but you are down $500. You're down $550 to be exact, which is a terrible trade, a terrible investment, a terrible time to buy, a massive mistake. Can it come back up at some point? Yes, but the smart thing to do would have been wait for the pullback, and then you could have bought around this area. Not saying to wait for the total bottom because you're never going to catch the total bottom, but after you fall into the main range, you get a way better discount. It's already down 40-something%, and then now you only be down about 10% from when the price entered the main range to now, you'd be down about 10% only versus down 55%. Right? Those are the things you need to look out for, guys. Don't fall for those traps. Appreciate all the roses. Appreciate all the gifts. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you, Heart Me. Thank you. Appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Good morning, Queen B. What's going on? Let's see. But yeah, overall, fantastic trading day here for the yesterday for the trading group for the Crypto Citadel. We had a very nice trading day yesterday. First couple of days of this week, I was traveling Monday, Tuesday. Didn't get back home back into the saddle until Wednesday. Didn't really find any good trades on Wednesday. And then Thursday was a lot of sideways, not a lot of price action at all. And then at least yesterday we got some decent price action. Was able to make some decent moves and get some good trades in for the week. So we closed out the week overall in a positive in the green, which is always good. Make sure you guys are dropping your questions into the chat. Appreciate everybody in here. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes. Let's go take a look at 𝗭𝗢𝗢𝗫. While you guys load up the chat here, I'll be taking a look here. 𝗭𝗢𝗢𝗫. Yeah, 𝗭𝗢𝗢𝗫 still doing his thing. Didn't fill the gold pocket all the way down to 284, but we're still here. We're getting back above the April range of 319. We're currently at 326. Still in a downtrend overall as well. We need to start breaking back above 373, start running towards that main range, getting above 401. But yeah, overall, 𝗭𝗀 got some decent targets. Once we can break out above 479, 480, get above the 𝗭𝗢1 range, we have targets between 523 to 617 to the upside. Oops, did not mean to move that gold pocket. And then obviously to the downside, if we lose 284, next big target is the April naked putting control down at 231 for 𝗭𝗀. Appreciate everybody in here. If you guys are not joining the Crypto Citadel, you definitely can get 50% off your first month by signing up and using the code Citadel. Not only do you get signals, if you're not a trader, you're like, Crusader, I'm not really a trader, bro. Why would I be in there? The macro long-term analysis is what's going to help you survive all these major dips in the market, right? You'll be able to strategize better, be more technical on when you're actually buying a significant dip, a significant crash in the market. That is a better allocation than when you're just constantly dipping, buying every single dip, right? And you're running out of chips. And then if you are a trader, obviously you get signals, you get technical analysis every single day, trade setups, and you get access to my custom indicators if you want them as well. And you get exclusive live streams that we do there every single week. And starting next week, we are going to be doing a few live trading sessions where we're going to be pretty much locking in for 2-3 hours, going into the exclusive live, and then just sitting there and looking for trades and just hunting down trades all for those 2 or 3 hours, and see how many trades we can smash out in that time. Obviously, maybe we'll get one, maybe we'll get none, maybe we'll get 3 or 4, right? It all really depends on the day. All really depends on the levels. But if you're interested in that, that's where you can find that in the Crypto Citadel. And you can sign up with the link down below in my profile in the description, whatever it is. Good morning, Maurice. What's going on, Maurice? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Appreciate all of you guys jumping in here, smashing those likes. Let's go take a look at, let's see what else we got around here. Give me another good altcoin, guys. Give me another good altcoin here. Oh, let's go take a look at SEI. This thing has been rallying like crazy here in the last couple of days. Let's go take a look at SEI. Major rallies here. Overall, SEI has been finding support on the May. What is this? The May range. Value area high around 25 cents. If we continue to hold this area and we can break out of the 𝗭𝗢1 range, which is sitting at 28 cents. So finding support right now between 25 to 28 cents. Let me mark it out for you guys so you guys can see this a little bit better. Right around here. Put this into the green, finding some support here. If we can continue to hold this support, next big targets to the upside is between 35 to 36 cents. Above that is 48 to 52 cents. Now, if we lose this support and we drop down, we do have a gold pocket down at 22 cents to the downside for SEI. I'm fine, brother, from Wanda, Africa. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Aave and Tau, we already did Tau, but I'll quickly circle back to Tau, and then we'll do Aave. So Tau currently sitting at $3.25. Not $3.25, $325. If 𝗭𝗀 Tau already came down, almost filling our gold pocket of 284. If 284 is lost, our next target to the downside is $231. Now, to the upside, obviously we're in a downtrend, but to the upside, we do need to break back into the main range, right? Getting back above the main range of $400 allows us to run for the main resistance up here, which is the value area high for 𝗭𝗢1, sitting around $480. Once we can break above $480, we would break out of this massive resistance of the 𝗭𝗢1 range, and our targets to the upside are between 523 to 545, which is another macro gold pocket, and the yearly untapped pivot up at $617 before going into price discovery. Now, if we go take a look at Aave, Aave here has been holding up very well. We came up to the gold pocket for the 𝗭𝗢𝗢 range all the way up at 300. We hit that. We were rejected off that area. No big surprise. Came back down to the quarterly average of $229. Found support on the quarterly average, and now we're sitting right at the value area high of May at $255. If we continue to hold this support, right, we need to break above the 𝗭𝗢𝗢 range. Our next target to the upside is a monthly MPOC at $342. That's our last main target to the upside before going to revisit some historical targets. Now, to the downside, if we lose 254, we start falling back into the May range, right, and we lose the quarterly average at 229. Targets to the downside are between 204. We have a monthly MPOC down at 174. And let me get rid of this little gold pocket thing. We have a monthly MPOC down at 174 and a monthly untapped average at 152. So we definitely have lots of targets to the downside that are still untapped, right? We have another target at 106. We have another target down at $84. But overall, we've been in a very steep uptrend, as you guys can see here, since the April lows, right? We've just been in a very strong uptrend. We did have a breakout here of this uptrend, and then we kind of reclaimed it. So if we can continue to hold this uptrend, we are going to be pushing up to, we are going to be pushing up to 342. But if we lose it, could come down to 204 to 174 if 229 doesn't hold for AVE. I want to join your group. Where can I get your so the signals and all that stuff is in the Crypto Citadel. You can sign up with the link in my profile. Go to my profile, use the code Citadel when signing up, and you'll get 50% off your first month. How about Bitcoin? Yeah, we can go circle back to Bitcoin. You do quant already? Okay, we'll do quant and then we'll circle back to Bitcoin. So QNT ain't nothing better than me. Let's get it. So quant right here, obviously we got rejected at 124. If you guys were in the Crypto Citadel and you guys were paying attention to the macro analysis for quant, we would have actually had covered this and we actually hit those targets perfectly. Where is it? So yeah, right here, just quickly in the summary, right in the bias, that it would only continue to be bullish if we reclaimed the 124 and kept pushing up. If not, we were going to start chopping and start dropping down lower, as you guys can see here. And quant did exactly that. Quant came up to 124, got rejected. What does that mean? I told you guys we were going to start dropping down to potentially $95. And guess what? That's exactly what we did. See, neutral chopping between 95 to 124. And that's exactly what quant has done. Came all the way down to $84, stayed within the May range, found some support, hit all of our targets, got back above $100. We're currently sitting at 106. Now our main target to get back above is 124. We get above that, we can push to 141, and then we got targets between 174 to 193 for quant to the upside. If quant, for whatever reason, continues making lower highs and push lower, and Bitcoin rolls over and we continue to drop lower, quant does have targets down at 70 all the way down to $62. Now let's go take a look at Bitcoin, the Bitcoins, the good old Bitcoins. Bitcoin. All right. Let the chart load here real quick. All right. Real simple here for Bitcoin. As you guys can see, Bitcoin is overall in a macro downtrend since the high of 112,000. We've made a high, then we made a lower high at 110. We're currently at a lower high at 107. If this downtrend continues, Bitcoin will slowly slither its way down to 96,000. We've also been making lower highs. We had a low around 102, then we made a low at 100. Now we made a new low down at 98. So we're slowly, macro trend is heading lower, right? If we can break out, not saying that higher highs is not possible. We can definitely break out of this downtrend and start pushing up higher. If we can reclaim 110, that would definitely be a market structure change. And then once getting above 110, we're going to be pushing for a new all-time high and the uptrend will begin. Now, obviously, if the uptrend doesn't happen and we continue this downtrend, this thing is going to slowly slither us all the way down to 96,000. We do have some targets down between 89 to potentially as low as 84 for a worst case scenario, but just hyper focusing on 96 for now. Do you think Bitcoin will go to 112, 113K to June 30th or July 1st. So no, I don't think we're going to go up to 113,000 in the next couple of days. Anything is possible. June 30th is Monday. So I don't expect a lot of volume or any big spikes happening throughout the weekend. Could be wrong. Maybe we have a huge pump on Sunday. If we do, we're probably going to have a big dump on Monday to close out the month. But in the month of July, we could still get some big news, right? We have some news coming out about tariffs. There's some fears that the tariffs delay is coming to an end, yada, yada. But a lot of good deals have been made as well with the UK. Good deals have been made with China. So overall, still very bullish. We'll just have to continue, checking out the levels here as we see on the 30th. It will be the end of June and will be the end of Q2. So a lot of macro updates are going to be happening and being posted in the Crypto Citadel starting next week. Once we hit the first, we're going to be getting a whole new wave of monthly and quarterly targets to be looking for. And I'm going to be reanalyzing as many altcoins as I possibly can that everyone in the Crypto Citadel is interested in. And I'm going to be posting all that macro analysis for all the long-term holders in there to be able to build up their long-term portfolios. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Appreciate it. Good to see all of you guys here on a Saturday morning. Want to make sure I'm not missing anything here in the chat. Hey, how are you? What's going on? Yeah, not missing anything in the chat. That's good. PiCoin. Not really a big fan of PiCoin. This thing is nothing but to the downside. XRP. I'll cover XRP one more time. Quick little. XRP really hasn't done much. But overall, XRP. A lot of targets to the downside if Bitcoin loses 100,000. Want to make that clear. If Bitcoin doesn't lose 100,000, then yes, we can continue moving to the upside. The lawsuit is coming to an end here in the next couple of days, next week or so. Targets to the upside, right? Finding a long off this green support between $2.08 to $1.95 has been magnificent every single time. Now, targets to the upside here in the short term are 234 to 236 for the month of May. We need to get above 242 to make a run for 257 and untapped daily average. And then above 257, our main target is the Q1 value area high at 277, which is also a macro gold pocket from the local highs in January to the lows of April. So once we can get, if we can get above 277, our next main target to the upside for XRP is $3.10, which is a monthly naked point of control. Those are the targets for good old XRP. Guys, I appreciate every single one of you guys hanging out with me here. I appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. I appreciate everybody that's joining the Crypto Citadel every single day. Make sure you're using that code Citadel to get 50% off your first month, to get trading signals, get trade setups on many different altcoins and Bitcoin, get macro long-term analysis for all you guys that are long-term holders and are not traders. You can still benefit heavily from the Crypto Citadel and all the exclusive live streams and exclusive trading sessions that we're going to be doing in there as well. So appreciate all of you guys joining in. Appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes. And I'll see you guys. I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains every single day. And I'll see you guys in the Crypto Citadel. See ya.